right, guys. Well, happy Saturday to you guys. Let me turn down on my end. It's very loud on my earphones. 1 second. All right, so happy Saturday. What we're doing today is just going to teach you guys one of the songs from the book, the Dave's Leaving on the Plane. It's actually the tune that started off the whole iMusicAcademy practice group writing a bunch of songs. So we've done 37 songs since November of last year, and I just decided to put it in a book, which I'm very excited, very proud of the project, and also all of the private group that I have doing everything. So good morning. Well, it's actually kind of almost to lunchtime, so kind of almost even good afternoon to you guys. And I have several people all in different parts of the world. So let's go ahead and dig into Dave's Leaving on a Plane. There are two versions in this book of Dave's Leaving on a Plane. One is a trio version, so it has your left-hand voicings, and the other is just a simple basic groove, and we're going to do the basic groove today. And for those of you that are on my email list, you know that I have sent this out before, Dave's Leaving on a Plane, as well as several of the songs in the book. Again, there's 37 charts in there, so it's really cool. And I'll scroll through the book on this live just to show you kind of what we did with the book. But anyway, here's what we're doing. So the first thing I want to tell you is just a reminder for you guys who may have not been hanging out with us. One thing that we do is we want a simple groove, a bass line groove. I've done tons of bassline grooves on this channel, but a most simple one that we can do is just a quarter note pull. So I like the fingering. Let me see. Let me make sure that the left hand is actually in the shot because that would be tragic. I'm looking here and I don't see my fingers in the left hand. So 1 second. Let me look at that. Yeah, okay. So I need to adjust this. Let's see if I can do that. 1 second. I'll tell you what. I'll just play it an octave up for a minute. And then we'll... no, I want to fix it. All right, it's a little bit messed up there in terms of lining up, but I think we'll be able to make it work. Okay, so here we go. Again, if you would like this video and say hello in the chat, that would be awesome. So we have this quarter note pulls of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you do this pattern, I like, instead of 5, 1, I like 2, 5, 2 to 5, 1. Now, we're about to dig into the actual right-hand melody, but I want to say something really important about this groove. Anytime we teach these bass lines, I like, or bass line grooves, I want to make sure you're repeating the bottom note. That C on the bottom, it's very important to repeat that. So don't get lazy with that and dig in with both fingers, okay? So here we go. Let's actually, in the right hand, let's just do a warm-up before we do Dave's Leaving on the Plane. You guys know I like to teach the first 5 notes of the blues scale. It's really important to get used to that in all keys because it is such an easy pattern to get under your fingers, and yet at the same time it'll not only work your fingers, but it'll help you play in all keys. So it doesn't matter what key somebody would call. If they said, all right, G blues, you know, just by going into this one shape, you have a pattern that you can turn all around that would make you sound great. It doesn't matter what key. If I'm in E flat, it's a 5-note pattern in E flat. So I like to teach shapes and shapes that connect to other shapes. But we're about to do Dave's Leaving on the Plane. But for this groove, you're going to make sure you're playing the bottom note every single time. Don't get lazy with it. So our warm-up pattern before Dave's Blues is just this. Go on automatic pilot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Notice that every finger is hovering over a note that I need. And I like to tell students just to mash it all down at the same time. It sounds awful when you do that, but notice that there's always a note under your fingers, right? Okay, so as we're learning Dave's Leaving on a Plane, I want you guys to know that that this melody kind of comes out of the pentatonic scale. There are a lot of pentatonic notes. Well, what's the difference in the pentatonic and the blues? Well, you just leave out the F sharp, right? So the tune actually starts on the G, F, E flat, C, B flat, C. And this one actually has lyrics to it, Dave's Leaving on a Plane. Let me just pull up, let me click on it down here and see if I can. What I love about this PDF is the fact that it's interactive, meaning you can click on, let me find the PDF first. Right here. I can click on the index and I'll go right to the song. For instance, I'm going to look on Dave's Leaving on a Plane, and then this one has the alternate bass. There are two versions of Dave's Leaving on a Plane, and then it pulls right up. But Dave's Leaving on a Plane has it has lyrics with it. Okay, so here we go. Use finger 4 on G. Dave's leaving on a plane. That's the riff, and all it is, it's blues scale notes without the F sharp. So that's the first line. Go ahead and get that going. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. So you want to make sure you lock that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So it kind of does that again. And then it goes up from G up to B flat. Dun, da, 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 da. And that's a nice little melody right there, because once again, using blues scale notes without that F sharp, so it's pentatonic. Da, 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 da. So let me show you what we have so far. Dave's leaving on a plane. Da, 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 da. Now it's going to go up. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. And notice the fingering when I come down. Da, 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 da. It's 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. All right, let me pull up the chat to make sure you guys can see me. And we have several students. Where can I find the link? Let me tell one of my students that we're live. Let me send the link out to a group real quick. Somebody say hello in the chat. Just let me know that you guys are here. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. I've been doing a lot of things for students, and then we finished this book, which has been a big project. But let me just share this with somebody who's interested in it. Okay. We've been in a season where we've been talking about how licks are great, which they are great, but you have to make some music. Well, hey, Peter, what's going on? Good to see you. So you have licks that you have, but in order to make music, that's where you get a lot of success, and that's when you start to feel really confident. So this is an example of just one simple blues, right? It's a very simple blues, but it's fun because, one, we made it during one of our live sessions, and two, it just outlines the power of the blues scale and the pentatonic scale. So let me start over. Dave's leaving on a plane is the melody. G, F, E flat, C, B flat, C. That's the first thing. You just want to groove with that for a while. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3. Now it's the second part. Now it's transitioning to F, but it's still a part of the C blues scale, right? Da 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 da. And then it does the next part again. Dave's leaving on a plane, da 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 da. And then it does the last part, da da. It goes da 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 da. There's a lyric in there. I tried my best to explain. So F, G, F, G, F, G, B flat. And then it goes up to C. Dave's leaving on a plane. And all that is pentatonic. And then it starts over. And Dave's leaving on a plane. It's so much faster than the train. They tried to tell him it's the same, but it's so much faster on the plane. I tried my best to explain. And then Dave's leaving. Dave's leaving on a plane. And I think we walked it up like this at the end. So I tried my best to explain. Dave's leaving on a plane. So the last part starts on the flat 7 of G. I tried my best to explain. And then goes to F. Dave's leaving on a plane. Let me do that again. I tried my best to explain. Dave's leaving on a plane. So all it does is coming down the pentatonic scale. Let me play the whole thing. Two and three and four and Okay, so now let's talk about some different ideas that you could do with that, even with the left hand, and then I'll actually show you guys the trio version. So in the left hand, we're doing quarter note pulse right now, right? But we could do this with the eighth note pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's say that that's your groove. You have that eighth note groove. I always tell people, again, with this eighth note groove, is you got to pick up that C on the bottom. 1 and 2 and 3 and think really long on the first one. So 1 and 2 and 3 and really kind of soupy, not soupy, that's maybe not the right word, but just kind of really slow and lazy kind of. But at the same time, you're picking up that left hand, right? So in this example in the book, I think I do quarter notes, and then we have the trio version. But this is just like tons of examples from Blues Volume 1 is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I love the fingering 5-2 to 5-1. You can use 5-1, 5-1, but I love 5-2 to 5-1. And this is a great example just to practice left hand only. Doesn't matter what key you're in, it's the same exact fingering. 1 and 2 and 3 and so if we're going to play Dave's Leaving on a Plane, Dave's leaving on a plane. All right, now let's say you play that whole thing through. I want to show you another little tip to really help you guys out. Again, Peter, thank you for saying hello in the chat. I'm going to encourage somebody else to say hello in the chat. I've been sending you guys a lot of emails, and again, I want to thank my membership group that's hasn't even been launched yet, but we've been going since November, and they are the reason this thing was born, this book of 37 tunes with me. And they're etudes and blues things. But right now we're just doing Dave's Leaving on a Plane, which was the first tune in the book. I'm going to show you the trio version in just a second. But listen to this. You have your comping chords, right? What is a comping chord? That's when you're complimenting the soloist, which is you, right? In the right hand, you're doing the melody, Dave's Leaving on a Plane. And then occasionally you want to hear a little filler chord. And all we're doing is we're going to do guide tones. What's up, T-Man? Which James Taylor is this? Is this the James Taylor? So we have a comping chord is 3 and flat 7. So you have the third note of a C scale and the flat 7, and that's your comping chord. So listen to this. I could do this. Dave's leaving on a plane. did I do? I went from there. I could have gone down there and done this first comping chord, then which is E and B flat to F. I can do flat 7 and 3 of an F scale, right? Or I could have done it up here, but I kind of like the idea of close by. In other words, we did C comping voicing of 3 and flat 7 to flat 7 and 3. Now this is a really, really important tip right here, is these two notes for this chord right here are called guide tones. Right? We talk about this many times, but guide tones, the third of the chord tells you whether or not it's major or minor, and the seventh of a chord tells you not whether or not it's dominant or if it's a major 7 or a dominant 7. For a C7, you want the third and the flat 7. So you want that dominant, that bluesy sounding 2-note chord, and it sounds fantastic, right? Now, guide tones want to lead to the next note by. Now listen to this. When I'm on the C chord, I'm using 3 and flat 7. But watch what happens when I go to the F chord, which is the 4 chord of the blues. You have flat 7 of an F scale and 3 of an F scale, right? So all that does is it turns a 3 flat 7 chord, and when I say 3 flat 7, I mean you're going up the keyboard. You spell chords left to right, bottom to top. So 3 of a C scale, 1, 2, 3, to flat 7 of a C scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, right? 3 and flat 7. That wants to go to this sound, da-dum, flat 7, 3 of an F scale. The most important thing I could tell you is that when you spell chords, remember that you have to spell from the major scale of the key you're in, right? So we have an F chord. Now you're thinking about flat 7 of an F scale to the third note. Okay, so let me put that in context with Dave's Leaving on the Plane. Dave's leaving on the plane. Now I'm on the F, or I could go all the way down here. They tried to tell him it's the same, but it's too close to that D there, so I'm just going to stay up here. I'll just go there. I could go, if I was playing it up the octave, it would probably sound better. Okay, now when it goes to the last part, da, 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 I can play the third and the flat 7 of a G scale. Normally G has an F sharp in it, but I'm going to use 3 and flat 7, and then the F. Then I walked it up. See if that makes sense to you guys. Does everybody understand what's happening here? And are there any questions so far? In just a second, I'm going to show you the trio version, and I will also show you an alternate bass line to go with it. And I probably will do the alternate bass line first, but let me go ahead and see if you guys have any questions regarding anything. And while I'm waiting for somebody else to say hello in the chat, and to see if you have any questions, is I'm going to start teaching the alternate bass line. So I think I have about 25 bass lines that I've written out, and I even have a bass line course, alternate bass lines or something like that, which works well with Blues Volume 1. But here's what I do. Here's one example, is 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 1, 2. So C, C, E flat, E, G, C, A, G. Do, 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 do. Awesome. Well, Peter, I expect that you already know this, right? Because you've been hanging out for a long time now, since November. I really like this alternate bass line. The good thing about all of these alternate bass lines is once you get them in your fingers, you can easily play all the songs that we play and just improvisation based on these things that will just rattle off your fingers, like super easy, like it gets in your muscle memory. Let's play it really slowly. Days leaving on a plane. Yeah, you like that one, Dave? I mean, Peter? So one thing I like to teach is isolation on certain examples in the left hand, and also where does it lock up in the right hand. What's up, Jeffrey? So you go days leaving on a plane in 2 and 3 and 4 and so on that one you have to hit the C again. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that one's going to the E flat, and the E is a little bit tricky. They do it slowly. Let's try the next part. 2 and 3. Watch this. And 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah, so I'll explain in just 1 second. I'm working something out. Here and 2 and 3 and 4 and let me do that again. And 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah, this one's a little bit difficult if we're not used to locking up the hands and that. As I'm playing and I'm thinking I probably shouldn't do that one, but I have another one that we'll do. Let me just do this one more time for people who are a little bit more used to that bass line. And I've got an easy one for you. And 2 and 3 and 4 and right here. And 2 and 3 and 4. The trick on that one is making sure that you hit the C twice. Da, 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 right here. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. The hard part is the minor third, the major third. Same thing right here. right, now here's an easy one for you guys. Is this the idea of the New Orleans feel of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4. So as I'm going to show you this one, I haven't tried this particular song like that, but what I do want you to know is as we learn and work on these bass lines, that they start to become where they're they're in your fingers, and then it makes the right hand easy. So we have Dave's leaving on a plane and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 4 and 1. Now G. Let me do it again. Dave's leaving on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. I'll tell you the secret in just a second on this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on this, a very important thing that we have to do is think about the and of 2 and where does everything line up. Listen to that again, and then I'm going to show you a cool comping pattern for that. So Dave's leaving on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So then you go, Dave's leaving on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you have to figure out where is the and to happen again. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's not right. Let me do it right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then. Now, if I wanted to add the comping chord, I'm going to go back to those comping chords of 3 and flat 7 to flat 7, 3. Listen, Dave's leaving on a plane and 2. And Dave's leaving on a plane and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's actually a good thing to practice too right there. 1 and 2 and 3 and just the comping chord. Dave's leaving on a plane. One and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's go back to the first example that we did. Dave's leaving on, and this is the sheet music one. 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now let's just say that you've been playing Dave's Leaving on a Plane, and now I have. This is really, really important. I don't care if you have the PDF that I just got or not. You're on the email list. You get all these licks and all these crazy things. The next step is to take them and to make music out of it. For instance, we learned that even Dave's Leaving on a Plane, I came up with that song to talk about the pentatonic scale, right? You have the minor pentatonic scale, which is just like the blues scale, except for it doesn't have the F sharp in there. So you could take any of the blues licks from volume 1 or anything else the hundreds of licks I've showed you guys on iMusicAcademy, and you start to put them in your tune. So you don't always play Dave's Leaving on a Plane the same way. So you play this. Let me just give you an off the top example of using a lick. So you have Dave leaving on a plane. Days leaving on a plane. So you see what I'm doing? What am I doing? All I'm doing is mixing and matching all these different ideas. But the main thing I'm thinking about is Dave's Leaving on a Plane. To me, that's just a really nice sounding one simple idea. Dave's leaving on a plane. So, for example, I could play first 4 notes of the A blues scale. You know that trick of, all right, there's your C blues. First 5 notes, you can go down 3 half steps and play the first notes of an A blues scale, right? Those are going to work. And what if I just thought, Dave's leaving on a plane? That time I went up to the F sharp. I was hearing that F sharp wanting to create some tension, right? So I did C, the blues shape number 1. Okay, let me show you one other example to go with it, and then we'll tie it all together and be done for this lesson. Is that if I go up, I still have to teach you guys the trio version, which we'll do in a second. But you have shape 1 here. Right? But also, this shape connects to this shape. And you guys know that as you teach the blues scale, the minor third on top is a great sound, right? It's a great sound. Now, how you get there is very simple. Your middle finger goes to the root note of this pattern. That takes you right to the 5th, flat 7, root, and minor third of whatever scale you're going. And even this simple pattern, you can learn it in all keys by knowing that trick. And you just practice that one shape. So let's say I was doing Dave's Leaving on a Plane. Dave's leaving on a plane. Or up here. Now listen to this. Dave's leaving on a plane. All right, you guys get the idea. Are there any questions regarding any of this? I'm going to show you guys the trio version of Dave's Leaving on a Plane, but I hope that you really understand that each one of these tunes, each one of these songs teaches a concept. Is that this one is Dave's Leaving on a Plane. You have this very cool minor pentatonic scale sound, and it just gives you another vocabulary, another lick to put into it. Not only a song, but just gives you a nice sound that's a little bit different from putting that F sharp from the blues scale. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can pull this PDF up and show you guys. So I'm clicking on the book here. Again, this is my favorite project that I've come up with so far because I love that we've created 31 original songs, and then there are different arrangements of a couple of the same songs, a total of 37 songs in this book. And to start out, I did volumes 1 and 2 together. and it's 37 songs in etudes to develop the performer in you. So it's blues and it's jazz, and it's all kinds of different styles, mostly blues, but at the same time there are a lot of jazz things in here as well. All right, so here we go. Dave's Leaving on the Plane. Here is the trio version, and let me show you that. So the only difference in that is going to be your left-hand voicings. This is great for working on backing tracks if you pulled up a C blues minus piano, so you're only hearing bass and drums. But let's talk about this. So it's still only a 3-chord blues. I did that on purpose, but it's trio voicing. So the bass player's playing the bass line, and you're doing we're going to use 3 chords. We can use 3, flat 7, and 9 of a C scale. That's a C9 chord, right? There it is. Sounds. That's a great left-hand 3-note voicing for jazz trio piano. In our left hand, let me get back to where I can see you guys. And somebody else say hello in the chat. Hey, Vicky, good to see you, as always. Got the faithful people here in the chat. It's good to see you guys. And then everybody who is online. It's great hanging out with you. Somebody else say hello, and let's keep going. If you're enjoying this, make sure you like this video. Here we go. E, B flat, and D. So C9, anytime you come to a jazz chart and you see a C7, C9 chord, a C7 chord, most of the time you can play a C9 chord. And why do you call that a C9 chord, which is a D on top, is because every time you can add the flat 7, and you put a note on top of that, it's not the second note of the scale, it's now the 9th, because as you count up 1 of the C scale, 3, 5, flat 7, and 9. So I'm taking those 3 notes, and that's my C9. Now the great thing is a C9 chord wants to lead to an F13 chord, which is fantastic to go to, right? What's up, Jeffrey? Hey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, because you have been such an amazing supporter of everything, I know you're not in our student group, but I want to give you the PDF. Jeffrey, email me and let me send you this PDF. You've been extremely awesome as a member of iMusicAcademy, so let me do that for you. All right, guys, so E, B flat, D. Now watch this. The bottom 2 notes are going to go down by a half step. C9 goes to F13. Listen how nice that is. C9, go up to F, F13. Flat 7 of an F scale, 3 and 13. Why is this an F13? Because why is that D a 13 and not a 6? Because I have the flat 7 of the F scale. And just as a reminder, as I count up the notes, if I add extra notes and I already have the flat 7, I can call that a 13 voicing. C9 to F13. Yep, Jeffrey, just email me and we'll get that taken care of. Okay, the next thing, guys, is this. We only have one other chord we have to learn, and that's G13. Well, guess what? This is as simple as moving that chord up, and now you have a G13, F, B, and E. Flat 7 of a G scale, 3 and 13 of an E scale. Okay, so if I was going to play Dave's Leaving on a Plane using these 3 chords, all we have to do is this. Dave's leaving on a C9, 2 and 3 and 4. Da 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 da. 3 and 4. Da 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 da. F13, 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. G13, 3 and 4. F. Then it goes to G again. One more time. 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 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 Dave's leaving on a plane. So a couple of last things I want to say is that it was good hanging out with everybody here. I hope that you like this idea of this blues songbook. it's been 8 months that we've been working on it. I have a student group that is it's actually a membership, but it's unofficial. In other words, I don't have it available on the store. It's just been kind of building a community, and it's people who have been so awesome to support me with lessons, and every month they're able to contribute to help keep things going. But we have a private membership. It's been great. But I also love to give to our community at iMusicAcademy. That's why I make these videos. And really all these teaching resources, I love when you guys are able to support, but I totally also support anybody who just likes to go and grab all my free stuff as well. I'm just happy that you're here. But if anybody is interested in getting the course, I think there's a link in this thing. It's not a course, I'm sorry, it's a songbook. Has links to the audio files, to every single PDF. Let me just for fun, I'm just going to scroll through and to show you how cool this PDF is. This I love the fact that it's interactive. That's my favorite things. But let me show you this. So we have links to audio files and everything. But what I love is I'm just going to click on the first one, and you guys should see that it changed. Let me get to where I can see. So I can, and if I want to hear the audio file, I would just click that, and it would take me to the private YouTube playlist. And if I ever want to go back to index, I just hit any of the home icons at the bottom of each sheet music, and I just keep clicking, and there you go. And it keeps showing it. But let me just scroll down the whole PDF. I want you guys to see how cool this is. All right, you ready? All right, we're going to start at the top and just going to go down. This is 8 months of iMusicAcademy student practice group. I've got Vicky in there, James, Peter, Jeffrey's been very faithful. We've been doing most of these practice sessions behind the scenes for my group, but here we go. So I see a pattern blues. I'm going to keep just kind of scrolling down so you guys see. Jazz version. You have IMA Easy Jazz Blues Licks. And everything, you guys know how my PDFs are. I show you exactly what fingering to use. Tuesday, Shifty Blues. A comp day, that has a lot of comping voicings in there with some cool bass lines. Back down to the blues. Blues to Keep Moving. C Jazz Blues Etude. I really like that because that shows you how to play some really cool jazz arpeggios. Christmas Eve Blues. Jazz chords and scales. Dave's Leaving on the Plane. 2 different versions of that. Here Comes the Weekend Blues. Here Comes the Weekend Blues alternate version. Ian's Blues is a 2-pager. I'll See You on the 6th. That's a cool tune. I'm Taking Monday Off as a comp day. A lot of these are real world titles here. IMA Island Blues. That kind of has an island New Orleans-y feel at the same time. Jazz Trio Blues on the Move. Happy Saturday Blues. I've got the Low Volume Blues. Saturday Blues to Get Moving. Ian's It's the Weekend's Over, and it's Traffic Blues. That's a fun one. That has lyrics to it about sitting in traffic. Swinging Blues in C with walking bass line. That's a cool one. Swinging Blues in F with walking bass. Tuesday, IMA Family Blues. Wednesday, No Blues Blues. Try to Tone Down the Tritone Blues. Dwight's Lick Trio Blues. Another comp day with the alternate ending. Just a Day Away. That was a day before the launch. This thing's only been, this book has been live about 3 days maybe, and I've probably had, of course our membership gets it free, of course they know that, but I've had about maybe 6 people get the book so far, which again I'm very thankful for those who have done that. Blues Connections, that's a fun one that takes you up and down the keyboard. Blues for Keeping Up. Penta Blues on the Spot. I like that one because it's a really cool pattern and very simple based on the pentatonic scale. IMA Major Blues Scale Etude. Oscar Peterson had this, did a lot of the major blues scale. And then let's just say I'm at the very bottom and need to go back to the top. I just hit that one button and it takes me back to the top. And if I wanted to listen to the playlist, I would just hit that button and it'll take me to the audio playlist. All right, guys. Did anybody enjoy that crazy tour? I don't even know if you could see anything, but hopefully you could at least see. Let me do something real quick. I don't even know if you could see anything. I think we're live. I don't even know if you could see anything. I think we're live. I don't even know if you could see anything. Okay, let me turn down my volume here. I'm frozen in time now. Okay. So let me do something for my. If you're still here, then you're a trooper to stay in, and you're obviously family if you're hanging around for this. But this is just fun. It's kind of celebrating what we've been able to do. Okay, so I'm going to look for. That's what I was looking for. All right, there is this. I'm just going to blow this up a little bit more so you can see kind of what it looks like. All right, we're going to do one more little quick tour just so you guys can see kind of what it looks like. We're going to click on this. All right, here we go. This will be faster. Again, it's all interactive. You just click on the title and it takes you there. But make sure you guys can see here. Okay. And we really worked hard on getting this together. So each idea teaches a different concept. Oh, and I do have a very special announcement, and I decided on doing this last night. So I decided that I would release the book, and I did, and then I decided, well, you know what, I'm doing a 21-day boot camp on the first 18 songs, 21 days starting next Friday. And so what I said is that if you got the book, I would do like a $10 just say, hey, can you pay $10 to be a part of this 21 day challenge, not challenge, 21 day course. That's 10 lives, and it is going to be very in-depth of teaching every single song, the first 18 songs. And but at the same time, and I put it out there, but I didn't really advertise the boot camp of people paying extra and all that. So I've just decided, since we have only, at this point, we have 6 people that have the book, plus our 10 that are in the student group. So I'm going to make it free for the boot camp for anybody who has the book. And we're going to roll with it. We're going to do 10 live sessions. We do just like we did on our last 5-week course. But this is the 21 days. We're going to do 10 lives covering 2 to 3 songs each live of how to play them. And we do our lessons, 4 lessons per week, 3 to 4 lessons per week. And anyway, I'm very excited about it. It's going to be fun. All right, any questions? Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Yeah, Jeffrey, and you're definitely invited to that as well, but definitely email me and let me send you the PDF. But I am so excited about this. I actually use this on my iPad. Peter, it will be like last time that we did the blues in all keys. We do an early morning session, so I know with your schedule we'll try to make sure it's kind of early for most of the sessions. But the good news is, and you know this, Peter, is that everything is on replay. Everybody has the option to replay it, right? You have the lives. Awesome. Mike. Oh, Michelle? Is that Michelle? It's hard for me to see that. Michael. I'm going to go with Michael. somewhere in between. Thank you very much. That's very nice. All of these crazy titles have something to do with our membership group or something that happened that day and a concept we were teaching. So this has been fun. I've made a lot of different courses. I've had technique courses, jazz courses, blues courses. I even have unreleased courses. But this was something that I thought, you know what, this is honestly the most meaningful course, because out of 8 months, we put it all together, and we have 37 charts, 31 original songs, and then 6 different arrangements of the same song. So, and it's been out 3 days, and I think I said 6 people have been able to purchase it for me. I've always said this. I'll say it on this live too. If there's ever a financial need or something, and somebody can't support in some way, you just email me and we'll work through it. I am most importantly, I want to help people, and I think that everyone out there will do what they can to support whatever it is. And I'm the same way. As I want to do whatever I can. If there are no other questions, I do appreciate you guys hanging out, and I do appreciate the feedback, and I'm glad that you guys like it. If you're on my any of my email lists, you guys know I send out tons of free things all the time. I love teaching. I love doing this. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Make sure you like this video. I will keep this video up as hopefully you guys can find some value in it. And I hope you have a great Saturday. Get ready for the boot camp for those of you that have it. And then for those of you who are interested in getting the book, I think it's a good investment. I think that you'll enjoy it. And I think you can actually click, let me just see here, the blues lesson. I will make sure that the links are in this description if you want to go. But it's just iMusicAcademy.com. You guys will see it. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the video. I'll see you in the next video. Jeffrey, Peter, Vicky, James Taylor, said Peter, Jeffrey. You guys are awesome. You guys are always here, and thank you so much. Have a great afternoon. I'm going to go get to work